everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I thought it might be a good idea. We are approaching the end of the year, and Every Black Life Matters has crested past their 1 year mark. And maybe it's time to do a little check-in with Kevin, find out his thoughts, and I want to share those with you. So, Kevin, good to see you again.
Yes. It's been an exciting year.
Yeah. So tell us about your thoughts. I mean, it's been 1 year and you guys have traveled a lot. There has been a lot happening in our society. We've seen such a huge change with just administrations, with Black Lives Matters, the entity itself. So tell us your thoughts on how Every Black Life Matters, our agency, how they're doing, and update us.
Yeah, so just some general observations. So we didn't really quite know what to expect when we started Every Black Life Matters. Of course, we wanted to be the faithful and righteous alternative to BLM, but we didn't quite know if everybody would get what that meant. But we were actually quite surprised and really quite nicely surprised at the reaction that we received. We were warmly surprised with the media, with the Americans in general. America was more than welcoming for a righteous and faithful alternative to BLM. People really get it when we say, look, we are the reason why we kept the nomenclature the way it was, with Black still being as part of our focus, because we are still disproportionately targeted by entities like Planned Parenthood. People get it; they understand. By and large, there's a lot of people that do recognize that Planned Parenthood is targeting the Black community and has been for decades. So there's a lot of people that are really quite well versed on Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood and they understand that us being around and really going after that the way that we are is very, very important. And they are standing with us and they are fighting with us and they're helping us to really get that message out. And so we've been very surprised at the amount of Americans that are standing with us and helping us to get that message out, and have been faithful with us and praying for us and really helpful in that regard. So we didn't know what to expect, but the American people and quite honestly, we've been on Fox News probably 5 times, and we've had countless podcasts and interviews and that as well. And we are on, a number of interviews every week. And so we have been well received. And we constantly are getting, new donors and new supporters and new prayer warriors who are praying for us and with us weekly. And so we are very, very, very thankful that the American people really get it, who we are, why we're here. We saw just about a week or so ago, the parent groups that are standing up, the community groups that are standing up, Virginia, those types of things are happening. People are understanding how important it is for us to stand against critical race theory, how important it is for us to stand up for personal sovereignty when it comes to, COVID and some of those other things. How important it is for us to stand against an iron-fisted government apparatus that will mandate that we give up our personal sovereignty and those things. So people are standing with us as we stand against, mandates, as we stand against racism in all of its forms. And that would include critical race theory and some of the other things that are happening. And we are at the tip of the spear. Neil and I are going across the United States and having very important meetings. We're arming parent groups and communities with what they need to know, and people are appreciating that, and they're appreciating what we're doing. They know they can't do it per se, and they're helping us to get out there and do it. So we're very appreciative of the kinds of results we've gotten from the American people who have stood with us throughout this past year. So we really have nothing to be, it's nothing that we're just thankful. We're thankful for the kind of results that we've gotten and the kind of interactions that we've had with all Americans across the United States.
Wow. Well, I mean, and I can tell from assisting you and our emails that we get and things that people have been responding in social media or Facebook. So that's true. And so with the excitement and the reception that you have received, how is that translated into financial support?
So the financial support is really interesting. You know, when BLM came out, BLM amassed, George Floyd, that was traumatic for a lot of people. And that aroused a lot of giving on their behalf. $10 billion they amassed with 3 or 4 months. There was a lot of corporate giving for them. And they didn't even have their financial status in order. I mean, people were just giving them checks. They didn't have their financial status. They were giving automatically through Act Blue and some of these other shell organizations. Even to this day, there are different offshoots of BLM and different types of ways that they're managing their money. And as I understand it, it's still not well thought out. But they've amassed billions. And it just seems like the leftists are all in. They go all in all the way. Leftist corporations go all in all the way. That kind of zeal just doesn't exist by and large. And I've been around nonprofits for a long time, and especially conservatives. It doesn't happen that way on our side. And it's unfortunate. I don't know why, but I've seen it. You know, I'm of course, president and chairman of the Frederick Douglass Foundation of California, the Douglass Leadership Institute. I'm an executive with that. And so I've been around conservative organizations for a very long time, and it just doesn't happen like that for us. And I don't know what it is, whether we're just conservative and that means we're conserving, but so we have some great donors. We do have very faithful monthly donors, some. And we're coming along, but the kind of zeal that the left has for BLM is certainly not the kind that we have, and we would like to see more and better, because we have a tremendous amount of need. We would like to see Virginia happen in every community across the country. Neil and I are eager to get out. We have a lot of requests to go across the country and do great work. We have a lot of conventions and conferences that are asking us, please make sure you come to this one, and make sure you staff, and make sure you wear your apparel and give out apparel and do this and that. There's such a tremendous need for us, especially now that we're coming out of COVID. And next year is going to be a huge year where pretty much all of the states are going to be open. Of course, probably not California, but all the states are going to be open, and we need to be out there. So we're going to need as much as we can get, and that means that we're going to have to ask for people who have been supporting us without us asking for much. By the way, people have been very, very generous, and we thank people who have been supporting us for your prayers and for your generosity thus far. But we're going to ask you to continue to spread the word with your friends and family, and we're going to ask you to do more. We're going to be more specific, though. It's not fair for us to say you haven't done enough, because we haven't really asked you for much. But we're going to be specific. Hey, we have a budget of, which we do. We have a budget of $50,000 coming in this first quarter of 2022 because of all of the requests that we have for conventions and things that we have to show up for. And we're going to just ask you, hey, can you sponsor this? Can you help us to raise this money? We don't have people on salary. We don't have any salaried individuals. We're just trying to cover the expenses for just going out and doing what we do around the country. So we're going to be more explicit about just covering the expenses for what we do. I mean, both Neil and I are IT guys. We do our thing, outside of every Black life. And so we just want to just make sure that we cover what we cover, just so we can take care of this work. And so we're going to ask our donor community, continue to pray for us. Please do that. But also ask that you continue to spread the word and help us so that we can compete. We don't need $10 billion to compete with the BLMs of the world, but we do need, a fraction of that amount, so we can actually do good work and help spread the word and help educate parent communities and help educate other communities to remain free, to help them to be effective as they combat their school boards, as they combat their city councils, as they combat, whatever else they need to combat, in order to make the case for their communities, for their family, for their household. And so we need help with that. And so we know we can do better, and we're going to ask our friends and supporters to help us with that. And so it's unfortunate that we in the conservative side and folks who have been on this side haven't been overly generous with just doing that part just because, but we're going to ask that you stretch with us and just trust us to just do the right thing with that, and going into 2022, because we're going to need that help. We're going to need your help, and we're looking forward to that. So help us with the giving, and we're going to be good stewards of it, and we're going to make a big splash in 2022 with your help, your prayers, and your support. It's going to be awesome. So we thank you in advance.
All right, then. You heard it from the horse's mouth. Great.
We're looking forward to a great 2022.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you to everyone who's watching us. We're going to have some more conversations like this that we'll record for you, let you know what we're doing, give you more updates so you can definitely be more connected and participate in all that we're doing, and the planning part too. I think it's time for us to have another call with all of our donors and supporters and let them know our plans for 2022. So look for that email as well.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. Thank you, Kevin, and everyone else. Thank you so much for watching us. We'll be back again.
Bless you. Amen.